5 questions to help you find your life balance and achieve more. What are you doing for satisfaction now? What are you doing for satisfaction in the long term? What's your pace? What are your limits? And what's your recovery time? Oh, this is going to get good. Over the years, I have had the opportunity to work with some very successful people in their fields, in many different fields. But one thing that I've found that carries across them is there's a set of questions that I've been able to ask them that each of them has a unique answer to, but they all have answers to these questions. Why not use them? It's obvious that maybe it's a mindset, maybe it's something that they've learned over time to fill in something that the rest of us are missing to reach those levels of success. Seems simple. The answers I've gotten vary so much. Like with, what are you doing for satisfaction now? I might be speaking from the point of a content creator, but I truly believe that these questions apply to everyone in every lifestyle, every mindset. That if you can get a better grasp on these, you can achieve more and be happier doing it. For what are you doing for satisfaction now? For me, I'm shooting TikToks because I can just quickly pull up my phone, hit record, and post it. Or that could be just waking up that extra 5 minutes because you like reading a few pages of a book to get your day started. What are those things that each day or throughout the day you're doing that actually give you that little extra oomph, that keep you satisfied and feeling like you've done something? Then what are you doing for satisfaction in the long term is kind of an abstract one for some people. You have some people that are very good at thinking in the now, in the short term, where you can look at something and just find the pieces. Other people are fantastic at looking at the long term. Those are the people that plan, 20 years in the future. A lot of time there's a disconnect between those two, and I think that's why the people who are successful are able to answer both of these, because you have to know where you want to go in the long term. Someday I do want to have thousands of people watching videos that I make. Stupid car. Someday I'd like to be able to sit down and shoot a video where I'm not in an apartment complex dealing with the sounds of everything happening around me, where I can actually soundproof a room. That would be a long-term satisfaction when I can sit down in an office and have my full backdrop, have everything set, where all I have to do is sit down and hit record because I don't have to take this camera with me daily to use it for other things. What's your pace? Right now, my pace is heading towards those short-term satisfaction of doing daily or multiple a day TikToks. What I'm doing for the long-term satisfaction is shooting these YouTube videos, because in the long term, you can get a lot farther with YouTube traction than you can with TikTok traction, because TikTok is such a fleeting and quick thing, and only God knows that this is going to be here tomorrow, let alone 5 years down the road. YouTube is pretty well established. If you can get a good community going, you're probably going to be here for a while. Now, at the same time, keeping my eyes open for whatever may come next. Hence my involvement with Crouch Jump, because I do think it's going to be one of the major social platforms in a few years. What are your limits? Last week I had Thanksgiving, so I spent a lot of time with family. I went on a 3,000-mile road trip with a buddy. That was fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to go back, actually. And maybe we'll get adventurous. Maybe we'll even go as far as New York if we get like a full week or two and go see New York City a little bit and poke around and have some fun there. I'm actually really excited at the opportunity for that if it comes around. No, not if. I'm going to make that a when. When I get the opportunity to do that, I'm going to. What are your limits? I hit mine last week. That's why I ended up skipping a video, because I went to record and I was just so drained from everything I'd been doing outside of making content that I took a few days off from TikTok. I took a week off from YouTube. I'm going to try to make up for that. And in the future, I'd like to be doing 2 or 3 YouTube videos a week. For the right now, I had to recognize that I had hit my limit, that I just wasn't going to get that video out. So instead of sitting here for hours on end trying to force something to happen, trying to actually get this video recorded last week, I said, you know what? I'm going to do my video shoot schedule, my weekly schedule. I'm just going to have to be okay with not going it last week, but that's just going to be a week bumped off. And odds are for Christmas, I'm probably going to take that week off from TikTok, from YouTube, from Twitch, from wherever I'm doing things. For someone who's not a content creator, that may just be if you've worked a long week and you wanted to go do something else. If you do woodworking or something, you get home and you're just too tired to be safe while working with your tools. You've hit your limit. Go ahead and take the night off. On the other side of that, if you'd have to take time off because you know you're getting close to your limits, it's just as important to recognize what your recovery time is. For me, I know that if I take a break for too long, it's just going to slip through my fingers. I'm going to forget whatever I had learned up to that point, and I'm going to end up letting go of more than I want to. I'm going to end up slipping backwards from where I've achieved up to. And it's like that old adage of if you're not learning, you're forgetting. And even if you are learning, you're forgetting. So constantly try to learn more than you have the opportunity to lose. With Twitch, I actually haven't streamed in 3 weeks. I might just turn it into a hobby thing. I think I might focus into TikTok and YouTube. I find them more fulfilling. Twitch is fun for getting on and playing a couple games, but as a medium to try to actually build an audience while playing games, I don't think it's going to be right for me. Again, just taking account of what's happening around you and how you're reacting to those things. It goes a long way, especially if you have limited effort and energy and time. Pick the things that spending that energy, effort, and time on will bring the most benefit. If you have a short recovery time, like it, there are some people who can completely dead stop, do nothing, can go on a hike or a camping trip for 3 days, come back and act as if nothing changed. Other people like myself, if I take a break for more than a day or two, I have to really struggle to get back into it. It takes me a lot longer to get through things that I'd gotten better at, but I lose that progress. Maybe this has some bearing on you. Maybe this makes sense to you, or maybe it just sounds like a bunch of whatever hodgepodge that doesn't matter and doesn't apply to you at all. Whichever one it is, you might not understand it today. You might not think there's anything to work on or to look at or to ask yourself any answers that apply to you in these questions. But I challenge you to write them down. You don't even have to come back here at that point, and maybe set a phone reminder for 1 year from now. Just throw in the 5 questions. Ask them then. These aren't things that you ask, answer, and never have to ask again. These are questions that you will be asking daily, hourly, weekly, whatever frequency. If you feel like you're losing traction or you're losing sight of where you are and where you're going, I believe that these are a fantastic way to get back on track towards whatever it may be that you want. That's just my opinion. Maybe it applies, maybe it doesn't. Either way, you're awesome for sticking around. I appreciate you. Let's see, let's check out, I think I'd like to ask these one day to Harris Heller. So I'm going to throw up his profile, and let's do some other stuff. All right, peace, take care.